Do I have to do it? Oh. Welcome. Welcome back.
I'm like a little bit too sweaty to be welcome backing right now.
Why are you sweaty?
You know, I told you I was throwing up earlier.
I missed that.
Yeah.
Missed when you said that. Are you good?
Yeah, I'll be great. I'm doing awesome.
Guys, do y'all remember that time that we did a live and we said, oh my goodness, we're going to do lives like every Friday. And then Caitlin was traveling and then I was traveling and we didn't do that for 2 weeks. Okay, well, here we are.
Here we are.
You're so welcome. We then were planning on filming Tuesday because I was supposed to be back from Dallas on Monday, but I was with my friend and we were at breakfast on Monday and she's like, wait, you don't have work? And I was like, no, I'm off this week. She goes, no. Well, why are you going home? I was like, I don't know. Great question. And she said, you should see how much it is to change your flight. And it was $30. So I ended up staying until Tuesday night. And I got back super, super late. So then we were going to film Wednesday. And then I had a prior engagement. And so here we are. I know none of you care about that, but you're welcome for explaining that.
That's the way the cookie crumbles.
That's exactly the way the cookie crumbles. And if you didn't know, while I was in Dallas, Kentucky made it past the second round of the NCAA tournament, March Madness, if you will, in the first time in a very, very long time. And all of my friends that are here in Colorado or like grew up in this area don't understand the rivalry between like SEC schools and all of that nonsense, aka Caitlin, love her so much. But Kentucky and Tennessee are playing tonight. And when I tell you that Kentucky and Tennessee hate each other, okay? Tennessee always ruins our day. We're always having a great season. It's like one of those things where Nuggets go in to play a team that's like marginally worse than them. And you're like, oh, we got this in the bag, and then we lose. Okay, this always happens with Tennessee. They just ruin our day every time. And I'm not saying they're worse than us. Like, they're bad this year. Like, Tennessee's been like a good basketball team for a while. But it's going to be a huge deal for Kentucky fans.
Is it tonight?
Yeah, it's tonight. I don't know what the March Madness planners have going on because it said the game is at like 5:39 MST.
Oh.
So on the dot. So
they said if we tell them it's 5:30, they're going to start suing us for starting 9 minutes late. So we're just going to tell them it's 5:39.
I feel like college is a little bit better with starting on time. NBA is laughably late. I don't understand. Like, it's comical how late they are every time. Like, I don't get it. Like,
do you want to know who else is late? The Grizzlies firing their head coach. They're a little late. If you were wondering, they're a little late.
And they really did that.
Dude, and that's like, I know we're going to talk about Josh Giddey's game winner because I really want to talk about it, but I feel like this is like new news and I feel like we all have to talk about it.
New news.
New news. Ew,
Breaking
news. Exactly. So listen, okay?
I'm listening.
The Memphis Grizzlies have had the same head coach for 6 years, Taylor Jenkins. Gasp, right? I hated Taylor Jenkins as like an opposing team. Like I was like, this guy's such a douche. Like all he does is yell and stand up for his players and complain. And I'm like, you know what? I'm sure his players love that. But he's been their head coach for 6 years now. They've gone to the play-in. They've gone to the playoffs.
The year that Kentucky won, they were the second seed. And then John Morant got injured. And then he hasn't been the same this year, but they're still tied for the 4th seed right now. And 7 games before, like, left of the season.
Yeah. They have, I looked in Memphis, I counted theirs. They have 9 games left. I think they have one of the most amount of games left.
In this,
but
like, little.
Still.
Yeah.
Yes. But still, I'm like, it's literally 2 weeks until the play-in. And yes, Jake, they are in playoff contention. They're literally tied for the fifth seed right now. I mean, the whole thing is crazy. And not only did they fire him as their head coach, they also fired 2 assistant coaches along with him. And
it's giving scandal.
Right? It doesn't make sense to me. But I did see, apparently Grizzlies fans have been wanting this and have been like needing it, but like I always felt like he was like a coach that like
he's a great
always
coach.
Stood up for his players, and he's a great coach, and he, you know, was someone that had like a really good rapport with all of his like team and his players.
Yeah,
and
but so, like with this year, you've had everyone and their mom injured. John Morant's not the same. John Morant's injured. Jaren Jackson Jr. was out or is out. You've dealt with like literally, I think they've had one of the most like different lineup, like with their starting lineup, just because they've had so many random injuries, like from like everyone on the team almost. They're like in the top. I was listening to someone talk about it today. They said they're like in the top 3 of teams with the most like lineup changes for this year, the most starting lineup changes because of all their injuries, and they're still tied for 4th.
Yes, they're still doing amazing. Like the whole thing is super odd to me, just because like what I was hearing from Memphis Grizzlies fans, like because I was kind of looking into it, because people were saying that Grizzlies fans have been like waiting for this and wanting this, and I'm like, maybe it's just because I'm not on like Grizzlies Twitter or whatever, and so I have no idea. But like they were saying that apparently like his minute whatever it's called, like distribution, that's the word I'm looking for. Like his minute distribution is off, and he leaves guys in for way too long, like that shouldn't be in, and that it makes them lose game. I don't know. Really random stuff like that. I mean, I get it from like that point of view. I mean, we say that with like Mike Malone all the time, leaving the bench in just a little too long. But still, like to fire your coach that's done so much with you and the team. And I mean, like, he started with a lot of these guys. Like John Morant, I feel like was a rookie his first year, or wasn't even drafted yet. Ja was 2019, wasn't he? But okay, I don't know. But either way, so John Morant and Jaren Jackson Jr. and all these guys were drafted to this team. Like he's worked with these guys for years, and he's helped develop them. He's been one of the best like player development coaches, head coaches in the league. They literally still have the number 3 offense in the league. And so I don't get it.
It's giving scandal. It's giving scandal.
Everyone was like, who did he sleep with?
No, literally. I just, right before we went live, I said, it's either drugs or sex. Something happened. Like that's literally the only explanation on why you would fire your head coach and like 2 other guys.
Yep.
9 games before the end of the regular season. When you're in this position, like it's because to me, that's like a punt on their season. They're like, oh yeah, like we're done. We're cooked or something. Unless something major happened. And of course, I'm sure Shams will let us know soon.
Right.
But there's no way that there isn't something that happened. Like literally like something happened because
right? It makes no sense to me. And Daniel, so true. He said, I'm glad the Kings aren't the only team to fire their coach midseason for stupid reasons.
This isn't midseason. This is the end.
I know. And that's even, I was going to say, that's even crazier. Like I was baffled at the Mike Brown firing.
Yeah.
And now I'm
that
like,
felt like a year ago.
Yes. And now I'm like, and they're 9 games away from the end of their season now and playoff contenders, and you're firing him now?
No, something happened. Something happened.
The whole thing is so weird to me, but
Someone
I do think
slept
that
with an underage girl or something. I don't know. It's something dramatic. It's got every time. It's something crazy.
Every time. No, that's
otherwise,
so true.
You could wait until the postseason. Like it's not that far away. We're very very close. So
or like they could have done it during All-Star break, or they could have done it at the end of the regular season before the play. Like, you know, when they have like a week before playoffs, it's so weird. But I do know that barring any crazy situation, like any super crazy situation, Like Taylor Jenkins and Mike Brown, like people are just going to be firing their head coaches at the end of the season and trying to get Taylor Jenkins and Mike Brown. Like I feel like that's just what's going to happen is that people are going to go crazy.
Well, again, unless something crazy
that's
happens.
what I'm saying. barring anything insane.
Yeah, I don't know. I just feel it in my gut that something insane happened. Something crazy had to have happened.
Yeah, me too. But I don't know.
I know you're not the biggest college girly, but I just do have to say, because it's going to pertain to the NBA next year. If you did not, well, I'm sure a lot of our friends have been watching the March Madness.
Yeah.
Duke and Arizona played last night, and I just want everyone to know that Cooper Flagg is going to be a menace next year
society,
in the league.
I know.
Menace. I think the Jazz might try and lose to the Nuggets by 70 tonight. They got to tank extra hard for Cooper.
They're like,
and also,
does point differential count?
They're like, how big does the tank go if we lose to if like the Nuggets rest all their starters and we lose to them by 100? Does that give us more of a tank reputation?
What if we all pretend to break our legs in this last game? What happens?
Will you gift us Cooper Flagg? Absolutely. Literally. He's insane. And I also love his mother and his parents because I am the most competitive gal. No, well, it's not really an awe because it's literally how aggressive his mother is. I am going to be that gal mom whenever I have children that when my kid could be like 5 playing in a Pee-wee game and I will probably get ejected. I don't know if they even eject parents in that at that stage or if that's possible, but I'm sure it could happen to me because I do not play about games. And especially if I have a kid and he's playing, I'm going to be the worst. And there was before the tournament a couple months ago where Cooper, I forgot who he dunked on, so like forgive me, but it pans to his parents in the audience, and excuse my French, and she literally, you see her going on his fucking head.
I saw that.
This is me. It's me as a mom. I love this.
That'll be me.
Especially when the kid's in college and it like matters a little bit more. Oh, that's gonna be me. I'm going to be like in your mother effing face.
When my 6-year-old was 4 and she started T-ball, that was literally me. And it's like, I was never angry about it because she had like the best little coach in the world and it was all fine. But anytime she'd hit the ball, I'd be like, let's go. I'd be like screaming like crazy. I'm like, I am psychotic. I'm sorry. I didn't know that she had hand-eye coordination. I'm hype right now. Okay.
She's going to be the first female in the MLB. Can you guys believe it? So
sorry.
I'm curious to see who Flagg ends up with, just because like it's literally
Wizards.
They beat the Nuggets twice. The Wizards don't need anybody. They're fine. They swept the Nuggets. They're good enough.
You stop it.
Listen, the Jazz are in a rough spot. You know who else is in a rough spot? Because I have been seeing some rumblings. I just like rolled my R. Some rumblings and we haven't had a Kings fan in here, is that Damontas Sabonis might be out of the Kings, which I'm, if they don't do anything in the playoffs, which no offense, but I don't see them doing anything in the playoffs. Yeah. Or like, are they, what's the picture right now? We're going to look at this later, but
I was just going to tell you.
Okay. They're fighting in the play-in, right?
The Suns, Mavs, and Kings are all literally 9, 10, and 11, and they're all half a game apart. Like total between them, they're half a game out. And so all 3 of them are fighting for that last play-in spot. And the Suns only play like top 3 teams over like the next week and a half.
The Kings to me were like already mid having De'Aaron Fox. Like, I don't know why, because they have so much talent on their team. Like, I literally can't fathom having Malik Monk, De'Aaron Fox. Keegan Murray like didn't have the best start to this season, but he's like he's good
been
player.
Back lately. Yeah,
exactly. Domantas Sabonis again. Honestly, this might be mean, but like it feels like his stats. Like, and I know some people feel like this about Jokic because they don't watch the Nuggets, but like it feels like Domantas Sabonis almost puts up Jokic numbers, but they really don't matter. I just like, I
they're
don't
almost
understand.
like empty stats a lot of the time.
That's what I'm saying. Like, and I don't know how, like, because he's a great player. I'm not saying like what he does isn't important to that team. I just don't understand how the Kings are always so mid. Like,
no, they have so many great players. It really doesn't make sense. Like, I think Mike Brown.
It's confusing.
Yeah, I think Mike Brown did a really great job with them. I mean, they literally, had like a top 2 defense in the league Mike Brown's first year, and that was when they had De'Aaron Fox and when Keegan Murray was going crazy from 3, Kevin Huerter was going crazy from 3, and then you had Damontas Sabonis. Malik Monk is your 6th man, blah, blah, blah. Like, they had so many good pieces, and I feel like Mike Brown really knew what to do with it, but then they lost first round. And like I told myself, I was like, oh, next year, like they're in their like swimwear. They missed the playoffs completely the next year. They lost in the play-in. So it's just, I don't know. I don't know about them. I don't know what you do because...
Like, you get rid of De'Aaron, so it's just like, to me at this point, like, you literally just have to like let everyone go and like rebuild. I don't know. Like, I feel bad for Kings fans because it reminds me of the Hawks where like they always show a lot of promise and then they like then they slow and then they mean nothing at the end of the year. You're like watching and you're like, wow, they're going to be great this year. And then they come out hot and you're like, I knew it. And then they like slowly fall into fighting for a playing spot.
The Hawks is such a good comparison for them because they always end up in like that
These
8, 9, 10, 11 spot.
Yes, every time. And you're like, wow, like even at the beginning of the year, like the Hawks were hot. Like that team was super hot. And the Nuggets were struggling. I remember like one of our first like really fun wins after like we had that really rocky start to the season was when we played the Hawks and like we were just kind of making everything. It was just a feel good win. And then like and then the Hawks now they've like been non-existent. And same thing with the Kings. Like you're thinking you have DeMar DeRozan, you have before De'Aaron got traded, you have De'Aaron, you have Damontas. Like, how is this not gonna work? Like, and then you fire your coach after it wasn't working, and then they go off to win like 4 in a row, right? Something like that. And you're like, oh, okay, like maybe you just needed someone to come in and shake up the rotations and, play different guys together, because I do think that is a large factor in coaching. Like, I think you can have all the talent in the world, but I think one of the most important parts of being a coach is unlocking who unlocks each other, who plays well together, who doesn't, like just who matches on the floor. And so I was wondering,
on-court chemistry is so important.
So I'm like, okay, like maybe that was the key. Like maybe they just needed some fresh eyes, because assistant coaches too, like especially those guys are going to they've had their thoughts that they've, wanted to implement all this time. Like, and they like most of them have aspirations to be a head coach. So I'm like, okay, like fresh set. And then they like started going around and now they're back to fighting in the play-in. So
womp, womp. Just like, I don't know. I just feel like, you're so right about just like general, finding who works well with who. And I think Daniel pointed this out, he said that they're a poorly run organization. And that is very true. Everyone that I've ever heard, every Kings fan ever, every previous Kings coach, previous Kings player, like someone always mentions how the front office is a mess. And so I think that that's like important too, is that when you have a good front office, a good GM, what was that? Moch? Yeah.
Well, because he said it, because he worked with Mike Brown for a while and he was like, disgusting moves by the front office. He's like, I've been fired by them too, or something like that. Like,
yep. And that's exactly kind of like how I feel. Like, I feel like having a good GM and a good front office is so important because, like, in my mind, as much as I really liked De'Aaron and DeMar and Damontas Sabonis. I liked that 3 together. But like, then you kick De'Aaron out, not kick him out. He wanted to go, but you trade De'Aaron Fox, you add Zach LaVine, like, and then I'm like, suddenly you have 2 guys that didn't work well together on the Bulls that got nowhere with the Bulls. Damontas Sabonis, who's playing with 2 guys that kind of like not opposed, but they have totally different play styles than Damontas Sabonis. Like, De'Aaron Fox was such a good like point guard in the sense that he could always feed Damontas Sabonis, and those 2 always knew where the other was. And then you had Keegan Murray and Kevin Huerter back then, who were always on the wings, ready to catch and shoot whenever. Like, you had the style of play made sense for each other. And now you have 3 shot creators, 3 playmakers, 3 ball dominant guys, and then a couple of really crappy shooters. And it just like, the whole thing makes no sense. Like their team as a whole makes no sense. And so I think like when you're making these trades, they also need to be smart about, is this guy going to look good on our team? Does this guy make sense for our team? Like, that's why, like, I feel like the Warriors have always, like, I don't know, just like gotten close to getting a center and then been like, nah, it's not worth it. Because if you're not getting a Nikola Jokic like center in the Warriors system, you're not doing anything. They need someone that's like an absolute perfect center.
They're a tree.
in order to fit in their, you know, their little 4 or 5 guard system, whatever the hell they want to do, small system in the league. So I feel like that's, I don't know. I think that the Kings, though, if the Suns can find a way to win a good chunk of their remaining games, I think that the Kings might just fall out of the play-in, and it might be the Suns, the Mavs.
Yikes. It's going to be literally, we're going to talk at the end of the episode. We're going to go over kind of what the playoff and play-in picture is. Obviously, that's why I pulled it up real quick, because we're going to use it later. But we do have to mention, just because last night it happened and it was hilarious, because I was watching OKC and Memphis, and it pissed me off because, again, I've talked about this like 4 times on the show, talking about how I'm watching a team literally be like tied with OKC with 5 minutes to go. And then like literally I blink and it's a 25-3 run, and it makes me want to vomit. So
it was so bad.
I was literally like, what happened? Like, why did you do that?
Do you think that had to do with like, that was like the straw that broke the camel's back?
No, because they've had everyone injured. John Morant's not that. No, like I truly think it's a scandal. Like, you do not fire your head coach and 2 other coaches unless something happened. Like something happened.
That's so valid.
I could see if like you just hire your head coach or something happened with a player, like maybe they got in a fight after the game or, you know, like complaining about that run or something. I don't know. It really is giving scandal to me. But they give it the run. And so then I switched over to the Lakers and Bulls game because I saw there was literally like 40 seconds left. It was a 2-point game or something. And at one point, and I turn it on when it was like 12 seconds, like literally don't quote me because someone will. Well, actually, don't do that. I don't remember the exact seconds, but I remember seeing, I think someone on the Bulls foul a Laker or something. And I'm like, oh, well, the game's over. The Lakers won. And then Caitlin texts me. So I switch it off to turn on March Madness. And Caitlin goes, did you just see that game winner by Josh Giddey? I said, Josh Giddey's on the Bulls. The Bulls are playing the Lakers, and I thought that game was over. And so then I go back and see the last seconds of it. Josh Giddey, if you didn't know, but it's all over the internet, hit a literal half-court prayer to send the Lakers home, and it made my day because the night before, Caitlin and I were miserable because we watched LeBron do a walk-off like layup. I don't know if you saw the video, Caitlin, where it was literally Tyrese and he literally just looked at LeBron like as soon as the buzzer.
I know.
And then he started laughing, but he was like, bruh, like, be so for real right now. Like, come on. Okay, that would have been like, I would have been like, you've got to be freaking kidding me. Yeah.
I know. Well, because so like funny. I was thinking about like their Team USA run together and everything like that. Over the summer. And I'm like, like Tyrese Halliburton obviously got to spend a lot of time with like LeBron. And so I saw him give LeBron that look at the end, and LeBron was just smiling at him, like just, kind of egging him on and shit. And then they just like hugged about it. And Tyrese Halliburton was so mad. It was so funny.
Yeah, it was cute. You could tell that they clearly bonded during their Olympic run, even though Tyrese Halliburton just sat on the bench. But yeah, no, that was absolutely insane. It made me so happy because anytime the Lakers lose, it makes me happy. And if you didn't know, the Lakers are what, 1-4 in their last 5? Is that it?
1-4 since we jinxed them. That's all I'm going to say. Thanks for that, Daniel. Daniel made us jinx him.
And the only way they won, was because of a literal random layup at the buzzer in the last 2 seconds.
And not even, and I just want to say that like not the game winner wasn't even, I mean, it was kind of the best part, but like the whole like last 12 seconds of the game was actually insane. Like if there's 12 seconds left and you're down 5, like unless you do like nail a 3 right out the gate, you kind of like you're in your brain, you're like, this is probably over because you're really just playing the foul game at that point, you know? And they go out and Bulls nail a three. I think it was one of their guys, Williams, number 44. He goes out and he nails a three. Literally in like the first couple seconds. They had a couple fast passes around the perimeter, nails a three. And then LeBron gets the ball with like, 6 seconds left or something crazy like that. And he's inbounding it, makes a horrible pass. Josh Giddey steals the inbound, scores again. They hit another three to put them up one with like 3.1 seconds left. Okay. So that's all they had. They were up one. And then they call a timeout. Lakers are inbounding the ball. Luka was inbounding the ball right after half court because they moved him up court and everything like that at the timeout. And then Luka passes the ball in. They get it to Austin Reeves, or I think he might have just passed it straight to Austin Reeves. Austin Reeves drives to the basket, gets a nice easy layup. So then they're up one. The Lakers are up one with like 1.3 seconds left in the game. And then Josh Giddey just gets the ball, takes a couple dribbles, and literally nails a half-court shot to win the game. And he knew it was going in. He was holding his little hand on the cookie jar for just like 10 minutes straight. He was just like, that shit's in there like swimwear. It was so good. And I was just so happy that it was against the Lakers. No offense. So sorry.
I never care, and I'm not apologizing. I love when the Lakers lose so much. It's honestly my favorite thing in the world. I wanted to ask you a question about the Lakers and, well, just Luka, which is weird to put in the same sentence yet again. But Luka, it's like every other game is having, you know, like it'll be like a 50-point game, or 50%, from the field game. And then it'll be like a 30-29 like percent from the field. Do you think, because I've seen a couple people saying it, like that they're frustrated by it, like random like media heads, do you think Luka's a ball hog, like unnecessarily, especially on this team? Or do you think he's sharing well? I'm just curious your thoughts.
You know,
he was 8 for 22 last night. He was 8 for 22 last night from the field, and then 4 for 12 from 3.
Yeah.
So like, not bad, but just sometimes I think like he forgets that he has capable people on his team.
Totally.
Not all the time. Not all the time.
For me, I feel like he's kind of like the same Luka that he's always been. And you and I talked about it earlier in the season. And we were even saying like, it's not necessarily a bad thing to call him a ball hog because he is such a fantastic offensive player. It's kind of like the same thing as Shea. I hate when people are like, Shea's such a great point guard. I'm like, no, he's a fantastic scorer. Scorer. He can create shots for himself. He's not one to like, I mean, unless his shot's off, then sometimes he does create for others. But like, he's not someone that's known for like a Tyrese Halliburton, a Trae Young, or anything like that, who's going to be getting 9, 10, 11 assists every single night because that's what they do is they create. And so, but I'm like, Luka has the capability to do that. Yeah. He has the capability to score and to pass. I think what I've noticed on this team is that when LeBron or Luka have the ball, any of the other offensive players, all of them, they're just standing there. Like everyone just expects LeBron and Luka to take the ball themselves and to do it themselves. Like no one is even expecting the ball. So I feel like their teammates might even be feeling that. And I feel like that also is a big cause for frustration because you know, I always say this, if you're having an off shooting night, you need to impact the game in other ways. It's one of the things that we always talk about. And so like for Luka, the nights that you're shooting 50%, be a ball hog. If it's winning you guys the game, be a ball hog. That's okay. Like you're having such an amazing game, take it and do it. Like that stuff is really fun. It's so fun to watch people catch fire and do that. But if you're shooting 30% and you just start ball chucking to hope one goes in, when you have guys like Austin Reeves and Rui Hachimura inside and Jackson Hayes inside,
I hate to admit, is really
he's been
incredible.
Amazing. Like he's been so amazing.
is annoyingly, because his face is so punchable, like so punchable.
Dead.
He has the most punchable face I might have ever seen.
I'm not going to lie. I ended up, I know, I feel that. I'm not going to lie. I ended up with a mini soft spot for him the other day when I saw that he was announcing his brother's gender reveal with his shoes. I'm literally getting teary-eyed.
But I didn't care that it was him. You know who I have a soft spot for?
For me, it makes it human for me, you know?
Yeah, no, that's how I feel. Because I watched clips of Jason Tatum on, well, first of all, I saw him earlier in the year on Jeff Teague's podcast because that's one of my favorite. And then I saw him, he would like some clips of him on the Kelsey podcast. And after the Starting Five show too, I really hate because he's so corny sometimes, but I really have a soft spot for Jason Tatum.
I feel it. That's literally me when I saw that. And like Austin Reeves' brother was talking about like how excited he was to get to keep the secret, and that like he might have even gotten Luka in on it too, because Luka wore his pink shoes the same day. And like, I'm like, ew, stop making me like you. Like, I'm already mad that you're so good at basketball.
Do you think, wait, I have to ask you this also because someone was like,
yes,
one of the Lakers fans was complaining, of course, on social media, and they were like, about me saying we have Nikola Jokic, and they were like, well, we have Luka for the next 10 years. Do you think Luka stays with the Lakers for like his entire tenure?
I don't know.
Just off like gut instinct, maybe.
I want to say yes off of gut instinct, just because of the way that he's, yes. And the only reason I say that is because like, I think if you would have asked me, I don't know, like after it first happened, I would have said, no way, he'll be out of there at the end of the year or in a year and a half. But I think the way that he's embraced LA and embraced the Lakers and embraced the team and kind of like his role, and he's, you know, out here, you know, freaking doing a bunch of philanthropic stuff for LA and the LA fires and all this stuff. Like, I feel like the way that he's fully embraced it makes me think that like they're comfortable staying there for the long haul and that they're okay with that. Because he did say like earlier in his career, if he ever wanted to go anywhere other than the Mavericks, or like if he ever had to go anywhere other than the Mavericks, it was either going to be Miami or LA. So I'm like, if he's in one of the places that he was happy with, then I can't really see a reason for him to leave.
Yeah, it's so annoying. It's so annoying.
Yeah, I'm sure we're gonna have like a documentary in 10 years come out about like the big Luka scandal, and it's gonna be like Nico Harrison and he's gonna be like in prison behind bars.
The trade that rocked the world.
Exactly. No. We're so gonna see it for sure. It's going to be bad. So,
Caitlin someone just asked which LA fan base is more insufferable, but I literally hate baseball, so only Caitlin can answer this. Dodgers or Lakers is what they asked.
I have to say Lakers. And the only reason I say Lakers is because while Dodgers are insufferable because of like how good they are and their wins and blah, 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 Lakers fans are just mean. Dodgers fans have never really been mean. Like,
they're
the only reason
cocky.
I don't like, yes, they're cocky and annoying, which like I get. I'm sorry, but like I said, if the Broncos like do anything big in the playoffs this year, I will be insufferable.
Insufferable. Absolutely.
I will be so insufferable. And so I'm like, you know, like that's how I kind of like equate Dodgers fans, is that they're just like, they're cocky because they're good, and it's super effing annoying because they use billions and billions of dollars to get the best players in the world. Yeah. But Lakers fans literally sit at home on the computer and just are like, you're an ugly butt crack. I hate you, stupid biatch.
Let's talk about how they told me I looked like I was 40.
Where?
B's like, listen, we don't angry.
Have to lie.
We can be angry that I'm a Nuggets fan, but we don't have to lie. Like, we literally don't have to lie. Like, that's so unnecessary. And then that's when I find out they're like 16, and I'm like, I bet I do look 40 to you. Like, because to me, you look like you're 11.
Yeah, and they probably are, a lot of them. Too many kids are getting computers far too early.
Yeah, which parents are allowing these children onto social media? Because I've had enough.
When I tell you, if I ever find one of my children cyberbullying people over anything, let alone sports. I'm kidding. I would never beat my kids.
Belt
but like
to ass.
I swear to the holy Lord,
Belt
they would never have social media
ass.
again.
Yeah.
Yes.
Literally. Our friend Piston Stock is in the chat. OKC fans to me are the worst. Most insecure fan base. I agree. Literally, if OKC fan base and Lakers has no haters, then Spencer's dead. Spencer's off this planet because, you know, they are obsessed with me. They all are obsessed with me.
So obsessed with you. None of them follow you and they're comment on everything you say.
None of them follow me and they're like, well, it doesn't matter that Nikola Jokic is averaging a 30-point triple-double because Shea, it gets 30 points.
Nikola Jokic is fat.
He doesn't even like basketball. Like, they're so whiny. Like, stop whining. And then because OKC fans are all young, like, I don't think I've encountered any like older OKC fan unless they're there from like Russ's age, and like a lot of them, because they've loved Russ forever, are like nice to Nuggets fans. But it's like the young crowd. That same with the Laker fan base. Like
it's the 16-year-old.
It's literally the 16-year-olds that are like, you stupid bitch. If Nikola Jokic wins another MVP, basketball is fake. And I'm like, you guys do realize that the only people that are campaigning so hard for SGA are the people that don't watch the NBA, Stephen A. Smith, Kendrick Perkins, and those guys. Any of the actual people that are also voting, besides like literally 2 people that won't shut up about it on ESPN, they just have a larger platform. If you listen to the podcasts of all the other writers and sports minds that get votes, are voting have been talking about how it's close, but they have to go with Nikola Jokic. So yes, I'm sure it's going. Yeah. Someone said today that Shea was going to win by a landslide, which seemed absurd to me because Jokic comes back and drops 39, 12, or 10 and 10.
39, 10 and 10. Yeah.
39, 10. This man missed 6 to 7 games. He comes back. He's dunking twice.
No, I was like, did you get new legs on your trip, my guy? Did you get new legs?
And he literally said his ankle still hurt him. He's like, that's why I was jumping on the other foot.
And you know what? I've been saying this. He literally doesn't jump ever. Ever. But I've been saying this all season. I always tell people because I think that in regard to the MVP race, I think that Shea and Jokic have been hand in hand the entire season. They've both just been, yes, it's not going to be a landslide either way. I always tell, yes, I say the only people I won't listen to or that I don't trust when it comes to the MVP conversation is anyone that says it's going to be a landslide. Because I think that like taking anything away from either of these players, like you can make the MVP case in regards to who is most valuable, but like the people saying that like Shea's just not good at basketball, they're lying. The people saying Nikola Jokic is not impressive, absolutely lying out of their assholes.
You're stupid. Like just appreciate greatness on both ends.
Yes, I'm like, you're allowed to make your case for MVP without like shitting on the other player.
Yeah.
Like
saying that the other player isn't good at basketball is I literally comedy. That amazing pass. If you haven't seen it yet, by the way, because you know, like we know how hard it is to even watch your own team as NBA fans. But when Jokic came back against the Bucks, and they didn't have Giannis or Dame, which everyone kept saying that, and I was like, what does that have to do with this cool pass Jokic did? Like, what does Giannis or Dame being there have to do with Jokic doing a sick pass? Anyway,
it's insecurity.
Jokic did like pump fake, twist, look this way, spin,
throw
over the shoulder.
Way.
It's like literally insane. He's insane. And then Aaron Gordon catches it. He's insane because he somehow is always ready to catch the ball when Jokic isn't even looking at him.
He was like, I knew Jokic was going to make that pass.
Yeah, like what? And there are people, there were literally Shea fans underneath. They were like, Shea stole the MVP. This isn't impressive. This isn't even that good of a pass. I've seen better. I'm like, Magic Johnson literally went on the internet, on Twitter, to say that Jokic is the best passer in the NBA. So now what? He's on your Mount Rushmore. He's on most people's Mount Rushmore for literal greatest players of all time. Most people have Magic Johnson in their top 5 or top 10 at the very least. And he's going on to say that Jokic is best passer in the NBA. And they're like, I literally watched a person say, I wouldn't watch him even if he were the last player on earth. You're embarrassing. You don't want to watch greatness?
That's a silly.
Don't
that's
make
a
me
little
mad.
silly comment. No, literally, I saw someone and I was having. I'll say it wasn't an argument. I don't argue with people on the internet. I was having a conversation with someone, and I'm like, you know what? Like a conversation. Shea versus Jokic discourse is so obnoxious to me because you really can't have a conversation with Shea fans without them being horrible and just discrediting everything. And
they just say that Jokic is bad. I'm like,
yeah,
where?
exactly. And like, stop lying. Okay. And so I was having a conversation with someone and they literally were saying that OKC was a lottery team without Shea. And I said, excuse me. Like I was like, I'm not even trying to be mean. I'm not even trying to argue. OKC, excluding Shea, has 4 of the top 10 defenders in the league, 8 guys that can put up double figures on any given night and that are almost averaging double figures. They literally have 7 other guys that are averaging between 9.7 and like 14.7 points. If you have 8 guys that can put up double figures on any given night, and that's not even talking, and I'm talking like any double figures. Like these are guys that can put up 10, 20. We've seen J-Dub have huge nights. And we obviously saw Jay Will have a cool triple-double the other night. I'm like, and Jay Will's their third string. Like their backup center. He's literally like a two-way player practically. Like he doesn't get a ton of minutes all the time, like unless everyone is hurt. And it's just like, I'm like, you literally have 4 of the best defenders, of the top 10 defenders in the league. 5, if you're including Shea. So let's just, but I'm excluding Shea.
And that's how they're going on these massive runs in the fourth, because it's one thing to go on a 25, like a 25-point run. It's another thing to hold the other team to scoring literally nothing.
Yes.
Or 3 points.
Yes. And I'm like, they're like, and someone was saying that they're like a heliocentric team, which like I had to Google that word. Okay. Apparently it means that like everything revolves around like one person, one player, whatever it might be. And I'm like, that's crazy work. Is Shea their best player? True. Yes. But I'm like, it's like the same thing, I'm like, is Shea their best player? Of course he is. Of course he is, but that doesn't mean that they're heliocentric.
To me, they have 2 starting lineups. Their bench is so good to me. They're so deep. They have literally 2 starting lineups.
They do. Their second starting lineup, their bottom 5 to 10 guys could literally beat the bottom 5 teams in both conferences. Easy.
Yeah.
Easy. And that's just me being like, I don't know, like nice. Like they could probably beat like through the 8th seed. Like they're such a phenomenal team. And so I just think that like any Thunder fans using that as an excuse for Shea's MVP, I think that's a weak argument, because you should be damn proud of that team that you guys have.
Tomato.
Boo, tomato, MFers, because
throwing
that's
tomatoes
a damn good
at
team.
you. Yeah, it's a damn good team. I'm so interested. I am so interested to see how they do in the playoffs. I would love if they choked. But I think they're gonna be so good. I think they're gonna cakewalk through
easy. Right
to the finals. I think they're gonna sweep every single team. And I think Shea's gonna get all his regular foul calls during the whole postseason.
They're just going to do some tap dances during halftime. That's how easy it's going to be. They're just going to be...
They're not even going to need to play Shea. I think this is my prediction.
Shea could sit it out because that's how good they are. I'm with you, girlfriend. I totally agree.
Thanks. But yeah, I just wanted to mention, though, Jokic did, again, come back 39, 10, and 10 after missing, 6 or 7 games? I don't know. This man, I'm thinking, it'll be cool if he gets a triple-double, but, he's been out a few games, usually it takes a while because, there's a difference between every other night and plus some of your back-to-backs. doing that much cardio, like the amount of cardio these men do is obviously insane. Like you are running, especially like Steph is like double the cardio because he never stops moving. But like it's just a different kind of conditioning and training. And the players talk about that all the time. They say game shape is so different to being in shape because you're like doing so much running, like, and you're like, it's back and forth. It's sprinting. Yeah. If you
don't get to stop when you want to stop, you stop when the game stops. You just keep going. Yeah.
So for Jokic to come back again as someone who's not like some lean, like Russell Westbrook, who literally looks like he has 0 ounces of body fat, like not even 1% body fat. And to come out and look like, oh yeah, I'm back. Like nothing changed. Sat out for a little bit, got a nice little breather and like good to go.
No, I totally agree. He was phenomenal coming back, and I loved getting to like watch him again because he just like I feel like he fell right back into place where he needed to be. Like he just like I feel like he didn't skip a beat
when he needs
like
to.
Yeah, you know, like with Luka, I feel like even Luka, you know, very similar in like the sense that like, you know, bigger dude technically, you know, you have a hard time coming back from injury when you're not like fully in game shape, and it took him a couple of weeks to get back into that. And so to see Nikola Jokic come back and like look good, look healthy, play especially as well as he did.
It was his ankle, so it's not like he was casually doing cardio or sprints while he's been out. You know, it's different than like, oh, like they have a, you know, pinky fracture or something like that. Like,
totally.
No, he, you know, he's like been out with his elbow and ankle issues. And he said that his ankle's still not 100%, but he said it feels better, which I was kind of surprised, like why, especially with Dame out and Giannis out, why they would have him play. But maybe he just, you know, wanted to get back, like, since there's only like 7 to 9 games in the regular season. But he did say it felt better than he thought it was going to. So I'm like, that, as long as he, listen, I mean, if him still half injured is putting up 39, 10 and 10, what can you do? I will take it. I will take that literally any day of the week.
And I real quick just wanted to say I saw Caden's comment, and Caden said I wouldn't say that we would be a lottery team with Shea, but we would be a low seed because J-Dub isn't a true number 1 option yet. And I want to kind of give you something else to think about, because I do, and the reason that I disagree, me neither,
but about being a low seed.
I agree. And I think that what I want like to put into your head, because I talked about this earlier in the season during one of our episodes, is the Pacers and the Cavs don't really have a number 1 option. Do they technically? Sure. Technically. J-Dub would technically be your number 1 option. But you don't have a guy, obviously, like, neither the Cavs nor the Pacers have had a guy consistently putting up 32 every night, consistently putting up 28, 29, 30 every night. They don't have a true number 1 scorer. They are both teams full of people that can put up 10 to 20 on any given night. They play very great team basketball. And that's how I feel about OKC. OKC without Shea is just a complete team full of dogs. They're guys that will pass the ball and score to whoever's
like 3
open.
guys off the bench are getting 10 points. Yeah.
Totally. Yes. Plus the starting
10,
5
12.
getting 10 to 20. Yes.
Yeah.
And so it's
Chet,
just like
Isaiah Hartenstein, like Wiggins can play really at a really high level if he needs to, or, you know, he's not like super consistent, but that's how it feels. Like even if one guy isn't doing a lot, like it seems like there's like a ton of other, like it just seems the team is stacked.
The entire team steps up. Exactly. And but that's how I feel about the Cavs, you know, like the entire Cavs starting 5, like none of them are averaging more than 20 points a game this season, or 21 points a game this season. And same thing with the Pacers. No one's averaging more than 20 points a game. You have several guys that literally have between 15 and 20 points a game, and then several guys between 10 and 15 points a game. And when you have that many guys that are averaging that much, and you're just playing that good of team basketball where the ball's always moving and the ball always goes to the hot hand or to the open player, and then again, like I said, minus Shea, you literally still have 4 of the top 10 defenders in the league. I'm like, you have the Kings sitting in the play-in right now. You have the Bulls and the Hawks and all these other teams that I think are way worse.
Should we look at we've got, like 10 minutes left. We are, because our friend Pistons Talk is in the chat, and y'all know that is without the Nuggets. Like, the Pistons are my team. I love them so much.
I love the Pistons.
Now that the Bucks have been struggle busting it, they are now a half game behind. The Pistons are in the 5th seed and they are only 2 games behind the Pacers.
Yep.
After I'm going to make our faces a little bigger, period.
I'm skating closer because I'm blind.
Yeah. So this is the playoff picture that they released last night. If you don't follow the NBA on Twitter or anything, they post this every single night. And I think pretty much from now until the playoffs, obviously, just the updates.
Yep.
So obviously you have OKC and Cavs in first. I don't think any of that's going to change. No. And then you have, who do you think's so the Rockets are fully 2 games ahead of the Nuggets now.
Yeah.
Do you think they run away with the 2 seed and we end up in the 3 seed, or do you think Nuggets? I haven't even looked at Rockets' schedule.
I was just about to say, let me look at the Rockets' schedule. The Rockets, if you don't know, and I just want to talk about this. I want to talk about this just while we're, talking about all of the extra teams and stuff like that. Rockets are on one of the hottest streaks in the NBA currently. They've been going crazy over like the last month. They're 9-1 in their last 10.
Nuggets broke that.
Oh, we did. It's true. Yeah. We broke their win streak.
Love to break a streak. Gets us.
Well, I was gonna say that's what's so funny is we played awful. We lost to the Wizards. We almost lost to the G League Lakers, and we were playing so bad. And then we go out and beat the Rockets on their win streak. Like,
they have a tough schedule.
Okay, that's good.
So let's talk about it. The Rockets play the Suns, which, Suns have had their issues, but they're fighting to make the plan. So
the Suns need the wins. The Rockets don't.
Yeah. Suns are going to be playing very hard. Then they play the Lakers, who again, the Lakers are a question mark for me because sometimes they look like unbeatable and then sometimes they look trash. Then they play the Jazz. Well, that's nothing. But then they play the Thunder and then the Warriors and then the Clippers and then the Lakers and then the Nuggets. They're our last game of the season.
Wow.
The Nuggets.
So they besides like the Jazz, they really just have a bunch of playoff teams.
Tough home stretch for them.
Yeah.
So I guess it's going to be, it's going to be close now that I think about it.
Yeah. Nuggets, and this is the Nuggets. The Nuggets is not super easy either. They have a couple easy games. Obviously, they play the Jazz tonight. They play the Timberwolves on Tuesday. They play Spurs. The Spurs should be okay. They play then the Warriors again, the Pacers, the Kings, the Grizzlies, and the Rockets. And the Kings, again, while not being a great team, they are still fighting for that place, at least as of right now. And Grizzlies and Rockets are fighting for positioning, and same with the Warriors. You have a lot of teams in the West that are fighting. You have 3 teams fighting for the last playoff
Anthony
spot.
Davis has come back just to try and I guess win some games. To me, I would have just punted this season. Once you lose Luka and everyone else goes down, Kyrie goes down, I think you just say, let's take a rest. Let's go to Cancun.
Let's put a little shut eye.
Let's get a tan.
Take a nap.
Let's relax. Let's enjoy summer vacation. And then we'll try again next year. Try again next season.
Yeah, no, AD was not having that. And you know what? Shout out to him for not wanting to give up. But like, I would, because like, no offense to the Mavericks. They're kind of just Yeah, the Mavericks are just kind of like AD and the Seven Stooges right now. Like, that's what you're going to try to like punch into the playoffs?
And the Seven Stooges.
I mean, it's just these poor guys. Like, I feel so bad for them. They've been fighting. I love the Mavericks. While I did love the Mavericks, obviously, Nico Harrison has ruined a lot of that excitement. But, they're just like, they're a team that really wants it. And I get it. And they have so many young guys, so many 10-day contracts and G League players and rookies that have really stepped up through all these injuries.
In the offseason, I will be in Dallas to help. We all know.
Period.
I know we hate Nico Harrison, but the real trade, in fact, was Luka, for Spencer Hayes. And Jazz was, of course, in the middle facilitating this deal, as they do.
As they do.
As they do. And
Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, thank you. Thank you for facilitating.
I am taking over for Spencer Dinwiddie because he sucks. But someone or Caden said, would y'all be confident if it's the Clippers in the first round for the Nuggets? I think so. I'd be fine with the Clippers. I wouldn't be worried.
Me too.
I think I would rather have. I think I would want the Grizzlies or Clippers. I don't know if the Grizzlies would be possible unless we suck. We keep not playing defense and we fall to the fourth. And they stay in the fifth, but they fired their head coach. So I don't know if they're going to stay in the fifth. Maybe they drop. Like the most confident I could be and not worried at all would be like a Clippers and Grizzlies first round for the Nuggets, I think. Like,
yeah.
And I would
like,
almost say,
I don't know if you saw my face, my entire face the whole time was like, because like, I feel like the West is so many teams that can just go off at any point. And so I'm so stressed about everything. I think you're right though. I feel like the like most confident that I would be probably the Grizzlies or the Clippers. Clippers are obviously like James Harden is playing some of his best basketball. Kawhi Leonard is healthy. You've got so many good guys on the team that have been producing all season. So I'll be very interested to see how it goes.
Like
I don't think any of these are going to be fast series though.
I think manipulating the standings, again, we've said this, like to try and get a matchup is stupid, but like I don't know if I particularly as a fan, I don't really know if I want the second seed because I don't want to play the Warriors or the Wolves in the first round. That doesn't sound enjoyable to me at all. Wouldn't love that. I want to look at Cavs. We'll either play the Heat or the Bulls most likely, right?
Yeah.
Or I always forget how that works. The losing, because the play-in stresses me out with how like the loser of that one then plays in it. I don't know.
Yeah. So the winner of the 7 and 8 game goes straight to play the second seed because they have solidified themselves as the 7th seed. So either the Hawks or the Magic will take that game, and
then the Hawks or the Magic will play the winner of the Bulls and Heat. Okay. It always stresses me out.
Exactly. So yeah, the Bulls and Heat will play, and loser goes home right away. Say the Magic goes to win the game against the Hawks.
Magic wins, right?
I don't know. The Hawks have been also really great this season and really underrated. So I feel like I'm back and forth on this one. I'm not really sure. I feel like the Hawks and the Magic make sense to go into the playoffs, but like also the Bulls have been amazing. The Bulls have literally are the second hottest team in the league right now.
They beat the Nuggets twice this year, and they just beat the Lakers last night. And did they sweep the Lakers this year? I feel like they lost by the Bulls earlier, like a couple weeks ago, right?
Yes, they were. The Bulls swept the Lakers this year, and the Bulls are actually
okay.
Yeah. The Bulls are 9-2 in their last 11, and they're like getting hot at like the right time. Like their team chemistry is on 100 right now. They're hype, and like so they're going to be taking that momentum.
If Pacers and Pistons stay like the 4th and the 5th, which I think probably they will. But I mean, Jalen Brunson has been out with the Knicks. I'm so sorry, but like I have no confidence in the Knicks anymore. But anyway, I think the Pacers and Pistons will be a really good series just because you have like both young teams, like and both young, athletic. Like I honestly can't wait. Like for that will be a great series.
That will be an incredibly fast-paced series, like in the sense of like every game is going to be go, score. Like it's probably going to be like 130 to 140 every night. Like it's going to be such a fast-paced possession by possession game. They're both such, like you said, athletic teams who like to go. And I think that they're both really in shape teams. And so they're going to be just running in circles for 4, 5, 6, 7 games.
I kind of would hope that the Timberwolves would win, or no, if the Timberwolves win, they go to the 7th seed, right?
If the Timberwolves win, they go to the 7th seed, yes.
Okay, I would kind of hope that the Warriors win that game to go and play the Rockets in the 7th seed. And then, I mean, I think the Wolves would beat the beat up Mavs
Either
or Kings.
one of those
and
two
I would
teams,
love to see OKC in the Wolves because I think the Wolves could like literally even potentially send them home in the first round.
Interesting.
I think that is their biggest, like, I don't know. I just like, that's all I'm saying.
I think that'll be a good matchup. I don't know if the Wolves would necessarily, I mean, like for me, in my personal opinion, just watching everything that I have this year, the West is OKC's to lose. Like OKC should be in the Western Conference Finals. And so if they don't beat all these teams, then something went awry. Like they've been annihilating everyone all season. I just think that it's their conference to lose. And so if the Wolves do come and find a way to upset OKC, that would be insane. I
think at the very least it would be a 6-7 game series, like 100%.
Oh yes, I think like I said, I think in the West almost all of these will be long series, and even in the East as well. These are all good series. Yeah. I feel like I'm like really excited.
I'm so excited, but I'm so sad because it means that the NBA is coming to a close.
Oh, then you can go to baseball games with me.
You can just kidding. I love to attend baseball games. Yeah. To be fair, I love to attend baseball games, aka like the Rockies Stadium is amazing, and the Texas Rangers baseball stadium went twice last year, or maybe it was the year before. Amazing because it's indoors, especially need that in Texas in the summer. But absolutely, I love to go to a baseball game. Am I going to watch baseball on the TV? Literally never, unless I'm at Caitlin's house and it's on in the background and I don't pay attention. I will be reading. So, but I love a good opening day festivity. Okay. The Rockies, best outdoor bar in Denver. So I will be doing that. But we have been yapping for an hour and I guess I can get off of the playoff picture. But if you don't already, because I always forget to say this at the beginning, but like the video right now, please do it. Subscribe, do that. You know, it's literally 2 clicks of a button. Is it really that hard? It's not. Don't be that lazy, okay? Don't be lazy. Did you exercise today? Move your fingers. And we hope you guys have a lovely weekend. Kentucky is going to beat Tennessee tonight, or I
Cats by
will
90.
be crashing out. No one wants to see me crashing out, even though you do regularly. I will be absolutely crashing out if we lose to Tennessee tonight. So I will be watching that game, and I hope everyone else is, because it's in like an hour and a half.
I'm going to be taking a nap.
You already took a nap today.
Yeah, I've been taking like 3 naps a day.
Love that for you. I'm going to go for a walk on the treadmill.
I love that.
Get my steps in. And then I'm going to come back and watch the Kentucky game.
Deal. I hope you have so much fun. Thanks for hanging out with us, guys. I don't know how many of you were hanging out, but thanks for chit-chatting, talking, yapping with us. It was so much fun.
We have a blast. We'll be back soon. We love you.
We'll be posting on Tuesday, and then we'll be back live again on Friday.
Woohoo!
You're the best. Like, subscribe, love us. Don't hate us because I'll cry. And
okay, bye.
Everyone needs therapy.
Yay!